All right, today we are diving deep into one of the biggest demographic stories on the planet, how India grew by over 1 billion people to become the most populous country on Earth. It is an absolutely epic story of growth, of massive challenges, and, just incredible potential.
So let's just start with a number that is honestly kind of hard to wrap your head around. 1.4 billion. Think about that for a second. More than 1 out of every 6 people on this entire planet lives in India. That single fact is the foundation for, well, everything we're about to get into.
So, the big question is, how on earth did this happen? How does a single nation add 1 billion people in just about a century? To get the answer, we have to go back, way back, to see where this whole journey really started.
Okay, our story really kicks off with this dramatic transformation. This journey from village life to the sprawling megacity. We're going to rewind the clock and see just how a rural agricultural society became this nation of massive urban centers.
So try to picture India back in 1800. The population was around 200 million, and life was overwhelmingly agricultural. Things like famine and disease were these constant, looming threats, which really kept population growth slow. This was a world defined more by the rhythms of nature, not the hum of machines.
And this is where things get wild. This timeline tells a story of incredible acceleration. For the first 100 years or so, growth was pretty slow, pretty steady. But then, after India's independence in 1947, everything changed. The population just exploded, crossing that 1 billion mark in 2001. And now, it's right on the verge of becoming the most populous nation on the planet.
So, what lit the fuse on this population bomb? Well, it was really a perfect storm of progress. You had better healthcare and modern medicine helping people live way longer. Railways meant food could be moved around efficiently, which cut down on famines. Then came the Green Revolution, which massively boosted the food supply. But maybe most importantly, fewer babies died in infancy, and that really allowed the population to just take off.
And of course, all those new people needed places to live, places to work. This triggered one of the biggest urban migrations in human history. Villages started to empty out as people flocked to cities like Mumbai and Delhi, which just swelled into these giant megacities. And with that growth, India's human footprint, its mark on the land, the water, the air, it expanded like never before.
Now, this massive population created a really fascinating paradox, because on one hand, it's an unbelievable engine for growth. So, let's look at the upside first, what economists like to call the demographic dividend. So, in simple terms, this demographic dividend just means having a whole lot of young, working-age people. India's median age is just 28. That is a massive workforce that's ready to build, to innovate, and to consume. This creates a huge internal market that fuels business and investment, and it drives the need to build all the modern infrastructure to support it.
But, of course, every coin has 2 sides. This incredible engine of growth also puts the entire nation under just immense pressure.
Think about it. Supporting 1.4 billion people creates these absolutely monumental challenges. It puts an incredible strain on the most essential resources: water, food, energy. Pollution is a major issue. And in those crowded megacities, basic services like healthcare, sanitation, and just dealing with waste, they're constantly struggling to keep up. And this right here is the core dilemma. This is the heart of the entire story. India's population is both its greatest asset and its biggest liability, all at the same time. The nation is basically walking this tightrope, trying to harness the incredible power of its people without being crushed by the sheer weight of their needs.
So all of this leads to the most critical question of all. What does the future hold? How can India possibly navigate this incredibly complex reality and write its next chapter successfully?
And get this, the numbers aren't stopping. Projections show India's population could hit 1.6 billion by the year 2050. So the challenge isn't really about stopping the growth anymore, it's about managing it. It's not about hitting the brakes, it's about learning how to steer this massive ship.
So what's the game plan? Well, experts pretty much point to 3 huge things. First, skill up. You have to transform that giant youth population into a highly skilled, highly productive workforce. Second, go green. Power the nation with renewable energy instead of relying on fossil fuels. And third, build smart. Redesign cities to be sustainable, efficient, and honestly, just great places to live. At the end of the day, we have to remember this isn't just a story about numbers on a chart. It's the story of over 1 billion individual people, and every single one of them wants a better life. It's a story of incredible human resilience against staggering odds, and it's a powerful reminder of our shared responsibility to build a sustainable future for everyone. And really, that's what it all comes down to, this powerful idea. India's population is all three of these things at once: a historic opportunity, a monumental challenge, and a profound responsibility. And how India balances these forces won't just shape its own destiny, it's going to reshape our entire world.